first started, my dad took me to reading lessons with a teacher, and when I was 10 years old. And after about 6 months, I think the teacher told my dad, said, "Don't bother, save your money." And he said, "Well, why not? You know, 'cause I want him to learn the guitar." He said, "Well, he takes the lessons home in the book, but he doesn't learn how to read." And my dad said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Well, he said, I'll play him the song and wanted to show him a little melody of a song that's written, and I'll play it for him, and he'll remember that, and then he'll go home and work it out and figure it out. Come back a week later and play it exactly like I showed it to him, and good, and pretend that he's reading. He's not learning to read properly." So his ear is good, obviously, because he's learning this stuff. He hears it once, he goes home and he figures it out, learns it and comes back and plays it, pretending that he knows how to read. So he said he's not reading, and I caught him the other day by turning the page upside down or turning the wrong page, and he still played the same lesson, but he didn't know because he couldn't read. So he kicked me out of my lesson, so that was the end of my schooling. Alrighty. Well, let's go in and get a lesson. Ow! Hi, I'm Red Volkaert. Thanks for buying my tape. And I got a bunch of licks here I'd like to lay on you that I've stolen from different folks over the years, and hopefully you can use them and make them your own. That I'll call my cheap steel lick, because it's a cheap impersonation of a steel guitar, which I'd wish I could do, but I can't, so I've done it on here, and that's kind of how it goes. Here it is slow. Starting with your pinky, and it's all pick with the right hand. And I mute if I go. Then I stop that string with my second finger so it doesn't ring after it gets to the C sharp note. Stop it. That's an A to an A7 before you would go to a D chord. That we'll call an open A lick, and I stole that from Chet Atkins, one of his records years ago, and all it is a major scale. Starting with my third finger on the 7th fret D string, second finger is on the G string, 6th fret, and they never leave. They stay there, and the only add on and take off I'm going to do is a pull on and pull off of my pinky on the 7th fret on the G string. So the E and the B stay open, and the rest of it's all right hand picking a finger. And you put your third finger, 7th fret D string, second finger, 6th fret G string. And the only thing that's going to happen is your pinky is going to add on the G string and pull off, push on and pull off on the G string only. And that's the only movement of the left hand. Now the premise of the whole lick is to go like an A major scale. But instead of playing this B note and this E note, I'm going to use the open E and the open B strings. So the hard work is the right hand. And in a way it's kind of easy because it's all pick, finger, back and forth. but they alternate between the strings. The pick does the D string first, then the B string, then the G string. Then you hammer on your pinky while that G string's ringing. So we went hammer on, pluck the E string, pick the G string and pull your pinky off. Pluck the B, pick the D. So, hammer on, pluck, pick, pull off. So slow, that's what you're shooting for, so. See ya. We'll call that intro number 1. I think that was a little different, but so slow. Call that turnaround number 1, and that's in the key of G, a 5511. From the D chord going back to the G, you can use that as a turnaround in the middle of a tune, or as an intro that has a 5511, or at the end of a solo, using it as to get back to the beginning of the verse for the singer to come in. I don't know what that is, but it works. That's just 2 notes, not 3. These are all 3. 2 notes. 2 notes on the B and the G together. Open G and B at the end. That's turnaround number 2. That's the same thing. It's a 5511 from a D chord back to a G. And I saw a steel player, J.D. Manus, play that lick years ago in California, and heard him do it a couple times, and I'm sure it's nowhere near like his, but my version. All right, here's turnaround number 2. And it's kind of like the last one we did, where you do a 5511, and that's from a D chord going back to G. Of course, it works in any key. You just move it around where you need it. And starting on the 10th fret with that same kind of a thing, but I'm using the E string and the G string for the whole phrase. And I'll slide from the 9th fret to the 11th. Thank you. That's a little lick I stole from Jerry Reed that he had on the ending of a song called 8 More Miles to Louisville years ago on one of his records. And I just thought it was a cool lick in that it's in a closed position, but it kind of has an open string sound to it. And you can use it as an intro, ending, turnaround, start a solo with, end a solo with. Just kind of a handy little lick to have. All right, I learned this lick in A, but like I say, you can use it in any key. It kind of has an open string sound to it. So you can use it in any key, and I'm doing it in A with my pinky starting on the 10th fret. Starting out of that for this A chord. Then I move back to this little F chord position, A, that I'm playing here, and go. Once again. So you can use that as an ending of a tune. For an ending. There's one for all the swingsters. Little Western swing lick. And it's it's a turnaround lick. I guess I'd call it my Murph lick. I stole it from Jim Murphy, steel guitar player, and also played the saxophone. But I learned a couple of those things that were over this little change. And what that's over is a one sharp diminished, 2 minor 5. If you're in a Western swing situation, or even regular old country shuffle, or even the jazz guys do it all the time, where it goes 1 sharp, diminished, 2 minor, to a 5. There you have it. Western swing lick, one Jim Murphy showed me. A little slower. And that's over. The chord changes. It would be A, sharp diminished, B minor, to an E. So you'd hear. Leads you back to A. Ow! That's my Calvis lick. I stole that lick from a fiddle player up in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Calvin Volrath is his name. Fabulous fiddle player. Showed me how to do that lick, and you can do it in any key. And it has a kind of an open string sort of sound to it. And here's how it goes. Calvin's lick. An A7 on the 5th fret. First finger is on the 5th fret. Second finger is on the 6th fret. But I'm going to move everything back 1 fret. And my right hand, I'm going to use a pick and a finger together. And once you play those two, slide up, open, the D and the G together. Then take, once you've moved up to the 6th fret and 5th fret, raise everything up 1 string lower, or down 1 string lower, depends where you're from, and put it on the D and the A string. Open, and then slide back. first one, you just hit it and slide up, open, open. From there on, you're playing open, 2 open strings between every phrase. But the first one, there's no open, doesn't do that, it just goes. So. Now, if you want to get fancy, you can keep going with it where you go from the 4th and 5th to the 5th and 6th. Now, you could start with this one on the A and D strings by starting on the 3rd and 4th fret. And it's the same thing, just inverted. This is 3 and a 7 here, a 7 and a 3 there, and a 3 and a 7 there, which is an octave lower than the first one. So. Same thing backwards. Okay, here's a little intro for a Merle Haggard song called The Bottle Let Me Down. And of course, my version's probably twisted and all wrong, but thank you. And we'll play the intro here, and then we'll break it down into 3 parts. The first part of it starts on the 12th fret, 1st finger. And this is a kind of a, it's like a G7 chord. 7th fret, 8th fret, 10th fret. And I'm going to hammer on my pinky onto the B string on the 10th fret. And I'm plucking all 3 with a pick and 2 fingers on my right hand. Then the third part of that intro lick is bending the B string from the 10th fret and then hitting the E string on the 7th fret. Then bend the G string on the 10th fret. Then move down a couple of frets to the A string on the 8th fret. That's the last part. So all 3 together. There's a cool little lick that I stole from Clint Strong, a guitar player up in Dallas. I played with Merle Haggard for a long time. He's a marvelous player, and he plays so damn good. I think that's the only one I could steal from him. He's just too good. Anyway, it's a pretty simple little lick. Clint Strong lick, number 10. And I'll show you this in the key of G. And what we're going to do is, out of this little G chord in the 7th fret, I'm going to have my first finger on the 7th fret on the G string. And it's going to bounce back and forth and go about 800 times. And underneath that, I'm going to play a G note, and just what it is, a G major scale. But every time you hit one of these notes of the scale, so I'm playing a scale with a after each note of the scale. That's for the key of G. Of course, that works anywhere. If you wanted to move to A, you could do the same thing. Just look at using this kind of a little D chord position wherever you're at. You can base it on that. So it works in any key because it's a closed thing. And I just think it's a pretty snazzy sounding little lick. And there you have it. There's a little lick. It's just nothing. We'll call it a nothing lick. It's a G major scale, but like that. That's it slow. Picking a finger if you want, just pick. It don't matter. It's just one of those licks. If you get in a real fast 2-beat situation, you can use that lick just to bide some time till you think of another one. Alrighty, this is we'll just call it a nothing lick. It is something, but it's one of those licks that you can put in any kind of fast 2-beat tune. And all it is a major scale twisted around with a little different pattern. And out of the first finger in the 7th fret, and then 1 fret for each finger. Those are the notes we'll use. I'm in G starting on the 5. But what we're going to do is go and you can do all downstrokes, all upstrokes, whatever shoots your fancy there. And that lick there is 5511, number 2. I think we've already got one of those. So number 2, 5511, we'll call that. And that's sort of a chicken pickany thing, but in double stops, from the D getting back to the G. It's all double stop, 2 notes at a time, they call that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be on the B and the G strings together. And my second finger will be on the B string on the 10th fret. My third finger on the 11th fret on the G string. And right hand is picking a finger. And what I'm going to do is play, then kind of give a muted low D string before I go to the next phrase. And go back chromatic. go backwards here, back forward, then play the B and the E together, then slide back, and finish up with the G and the D string together as a double stop. So that's how it'll finish. A little different, but well, I hope you can use some of those licks that I put on that tape there. And you can use them and play them tonight. And hold on, hang on, look out! And I guess the only thing I can really suggest is make sure you listen to all kinds of music and all kinds of players, because everybody's got something great to say and they're playing. And if you're a country guy, listen to rock guys and blues guys and jazz guys. Listen to everything, because all of that stuff's good, and some of it you'll use some of it in your own style and playing. Some you may not use for 5-10 years, but eventually you'll use it. So it's all worth learning, or at least listening to, you know, I think. Thank you, and have a good day. She was little, she loved to swing on a tire tied to a rope. But a set of swings became her thing. To the right, she'd just say no. Well, when she started school, why, she'd skip that too. Run down to the park, up on them swings and ride them things until it got dark. And she'd say, if it don't swing, well, it ain't my thing. That's what I like to do. From morning until night, it's out of sight. Swinging's all I wanna do. Anything that swings, that's what makes me sing. That's all I'm asking of you. If you can make it swing, I'll do everything to make you swing like I do. Well, I asked her out and she said, only if I can drive. We drove until dark, wound up in a park, and there's my surprise. Was a swimming pool and a jungle gym. Right next to the slide was a tire on a rope. You know, I'd lost all my hope when she said, come on, let's take a ride. And she said, if it don't swing, well, it ain't my thing. That's what I like to do. From morning until night, it's out of sight. Swinging's all I wanna do. Be anything that swings, that's what makes me sing. That's all I'm asking of you. You can make it swing, I'll do everything to make you swing like I do. Cindy Castellar on the steel guitar. Made row on the bass. Chris Gilson on the drums. Thank you. How about a hand for them dancers? Shazam.